That is Chuck Schumer in Manhattan threatening to take Georgia and annex it to Manhattan. He wants to defeat the man who joins me now, Senator David Perdue. Good morning, Senator. Welcome back to
Good
the
morning.
Hugh Hewitt Show.
Good morning, Hugh.
That quote may be the most infamous quote in American modern political history. What did Georgians think about Chuck Schumer threatening to take their state?
Well, they're reacting to it, and I think that's going to help us drive this vote out, Hugh. I mean, look, if we win Georgia, we save America. And you have to also listen to AOC. You called this out the other day. AOC that same week said, yeah, we have to have those 2 seats in Georgia. We do not want to negotiate. They want total control, Hugh. You know, they want the Green New Deal without compromise. And this is something that we just can't let happen. The eyes of America on every voter in Georgia, and we just got to get this vote out.
Now, Senator Perdue, you beat your opponent, John Ossoff, by 88,000 votes on November 3rd. I think you're going to do it again. Will it be a greater margin, in your opinion?
It has every opportunity to be, but only if we get our vote out. I mean, right now the Democrats are pushing hard. We have them bringing resources from all over the country. Oprah's here. They're bringing out Obama again and just getting their vote out. We're doing the same thing. We've got a strong ground game, but it's up to every individual voter. And look, as you said, Hugh, this is the last line of defense against this radical agenda that they want to perpetrate. And it's in the platform of the Democratic Party. There's no mystery about what they will do.
Now, President Trump is coming to campaign for you and Kelly Loeffler this weekend, Senator Perdue, and the vice president's coming this week. Every conservative I know, every real conservative, and a lot of moderates and even some Democrats are campaigning for you. Is the president's support unqualified? We lost you there, Senator. Uh-oh, did we lose the cell phone? Yep. We'll call him back. We'll have to find him again. That's always unfortunate when candidates are on the cell phone and their signal drops. That's what happens when you're on the road 24/7 campaigning. The president is going down to Georgia to appear with David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler this weekend. And I think it's tomorrow. And I think if you go to his website, Senator David Perdue, you will find the location and where you can reserve a ticket. But you do have to reserve a ticket because the turnout. He's back. So, Senator Perdue, when we dropped you, I had asked, the president's coming to campaign for you this weekend. The vice president is coming next week. I noted every conservative I know, a lot of moderates and some Democrats are campaigning for you. Do you have the president's unqualified support?
Absolutely. I've talked to him several times this week. He's coming to Valdosta, Georgia tomorrow. The vice president's here today. The president's coming for one reason, that's to get the vote out. We have to protect what we've accomplished under President Trump the last 4 years. The regulatory work, the energy work, the tax work, the banking work that produced this economic turnaround that we've enjoyed. 6.5 million people, Hugh, pulled themselves out of poverty because of this economic work that we did under President Trump. He wants to protect that. He also knows that this is our last stand of defense against what Schumer and Pelosi, AOC, and these radical leftists in the Democratic Party now want to perpetrate on America. So he may complain about the issues in the presidential race and the vote count here in Georgia and that sort of thing. And frankly, he has every right to. It's embarrassing. But at the same time, his primary mission is to help us get this vote out.
Now, John Ossoff, your opponent, is a 33-year-old left of AOC radical. And I mean, compared to your, when you ran Reebok, when you ran Dollar General, you were signing paychecks, you were not cashing them. I don't think he's actually ever had a real job. Am I right about, I know I'm right about how radical he is. Am I right about his real job lack of expertise?
You're exactly right. His father bought a business and created a job for him. In the last 9 years, his biggest client has been Al Jazeera. We all know them to be the mouthpiece of terrorists. And then the last 2 years, he worked for PCCW, which is a communist Chinese media company owned by China Unicom. So he worked for a Chinese communist company getting propaganda out for them and then hid it from the people of Georgia until he was caught, and then released the information, and then later denied it again in a debate. So this is a young man who's basically has no career, no real-world experience, and he's a career politician. He just hadn't been elected. And so he ran against Karen Handel here in Georgia and got beat. We're going to beat him again this time.
You beat him once already. It's like 3 times, and maybe he will go away. How important is this race? Again, let's assume someone has been living on a different planet. They've just beamed in. How important is this race to the control of the Senate? What's that mean to the country?
Well, in a nutshell, if Schumer gets, it's 50-48 right now, Hugh. If he gets 50 votes, they will have the majority if Biden is the president, with the vice president breaking the ties in the Senate. That means that they can add 2 new states. He'll change the filibuster rule, which is a 60-vote rule, and they can do anything they want with 51 votes or 50 votes in the Senate. They'll pack the court. They'll add new states, Democratic seats, and he wants to eventually do away with the Electoral College. And then that will allow them to perpetrate this agenda: the Green New Deal, open borders, illegal immigrants voting, cutting the military, just like Biden did with Obama and just like Bill Clinton did. They cut military spending by 25%. I know that's close to your heart. And they want to take away private health insurance. This is a socialist agenda that they want to perpetrate, and they can't do it in a split Congress. They have to have total control.
Now, you are running alongside of Kelly Loeffler, and her opponent, Raphael Warnock, is even to the left of John Ossoff, and he has said it is incompatible. You cannot serve God in the military. Georgia's a pretty military state, isn't it, Senator Perdue?
It is. I mean, it's one of our great heritages going back to the Revolutionary War. I mean, Georgia's one of the first 13 colonies, and one of 6 reasons why 13 colonies got together and formed the United States was for self-protection. And our military is very much part of our ethos. It's the second biggest part of our economy. We have 9 military bases here. John Ossoff wants to close 2 of those bases. Raphael Warnock says you can't serve God and the military. In addition, he says America was built on genocide. This guy is left of John Ossoff, and they both are to the left of AOC. These are the 2 most liberal candidates the Democrats have put forward, maybe in my lifetime.
I believe that is true. Some other people may have run for Senate and not gotten the nomination, but I do not believe any other Democratic nominee has ever been to the left of Ossoff, and Warnock is to the left of Ossoff. Let me talk about judges for a second. Senator Perdue, you proudly supported the confirmation of Judge Barrett to become Justice Barrett. You supported the confirmation of Judge Kavanaugh to become Justice Kavanaugh. You supported the confirmation of Judge Gorsuch to become Justice Gorsuch. I think John Ossoff would have opposed all 3 of them.
Of course he would, and this is a major point. He will be a rubber stamp for Chuck Schumer. And people say, well, no, he'll go up and be independent. No, that's not true. Chuck Schumer's rules in the Senate make Chuck Schumer all-powerful there. And these 2 votes, if they were to get these 2 in the Senate, they would be just 2 more votes on whatever Chuck Schumer wanted to do, which means they would not have voted for 3 justices that we just put forward. Amy Coney Barrett, in any real world, would have to be acceptable to anybody, and yet they all voted against her. And that means that when Chuck Schumer gets power, he will pack the court with activists, Hugh. These are people who want to make law, not just apply law. And that allows them to protect what they do in the legislature as well. It throws out the balance between the executive, judicial, and executive branches permanently.
I also want to get a little bit into the weeds, Senator Perdue. This is a sophisticated audience. We're on in 13 affiliates in Georgia. Federal judges come in 3 varieties: the Supreme Court, the Appeals Court, and the District Court. We assume President-elect Biden, for the purposes of this, you will still have control over the district court judges who will determine the future of Georgia litigation, because they don't get confirmed unless the senators from their state return blue slips. So if you and Kelly Loeffler lose, the radicals, Ossoff and Warnock, are going to get radical trial judges.
Well, that's their history. I mean, we saw it, in what the judges that they've already put on these 3 levels of courts. And so we know what they'll do if they were to get the majority. That's why I keep saying this is the last line of defense. And if we lose this battle, we won't have another opportunity to get it back. That sounds draconian, Hugh, but it really is the truth. Once they move to a one-party system, which has been tried in places like Venezuela and Cuba and North Korea, Iran, I mean, it just doesn't work. And I can't imagine how they're selling this to the people that they're trying to sell it to.
I've got to let you go. So what's the website, Senator Perdue?
PerdueSenate.com. Thank you, Hugh. God bless you guys.
You be well. Perdue, Perdue, Senate.com, PerdueSenate.com.